All right, today, guys, we're going to talk about how to leverage watch service to best benefit you, whether you're a collector, trader, investor, or a dealer. A lot of people don't understand the options they have when it comes to luxury watch service. A lot of times this comes from either just misinformation, lack of experience, or only dealing with manufacturers when it comes to service. Bennisson, as an independent horology service center, actually has the capacity to give some flexibility with quotes, estimates, so on and so forth that we're going to discuss today to help equip you to make good decisions and smart decisions. Number one, you got to know who to go to and who to trust. When you're actually looking to see what's wrong with your watch, if there is anything wrong whatsoever, one of the biggest flaws is to only choose the manufacturer as an option for service. Now look, I'm not saying that it's wrong to go to your authorized dealer, ask questions, and potentially get a quote for service. But what I'm saying is it's similar to the car industry, where if you go to the manufacturer or the authorized dealer, 9 out of 10 times they're going to recommend a full service overhaul for everything as the straight solution. There's no consultative approach. There's no a la carte solutions being provided. They're not thinking about who you are in terms of what you're trying to do, whether you're keeping this for a long time or trying to resell it. They're only focused on doing with the processes that they want to deploy to keep you as a long-term customer, but also to make the most money and regulate the entire quality control of the service. Makes sense, but not always for your wallet and not always for the amount of time you need for turnaround, because manufacturer turnaround times are usually much longer, and the service being recommended, if covered under warranty, is free. That said, it may not need all of the parts and things that they request, and sometimes it's not covered under warranty, which can be very, very expensive. So if you go to an independent watchmaker for a additional quote or your first quote, like Bennisson, that's a huge help. And the reason is we're going to give you an actual breakdown of what's going on with the timepiece for diagnosis and what could be recommended for solutions that aren't always just the one-dimensional solution of an overhaul. Sometimes it's just in need of a regulation, meaning the watch is outside of a specification of amplitude and it just needs a slight tweak, which is much quicker and less expensive than a full service overhaul. Sometimes you don't need service at all. Sometimes it's something else that's going on with the mechanism, or perhaps something that you did to engage the timepiece that isn't necessarily appropriate. We just have to reset it. So if you don't trust or go to the person for this additional information, you could end up in a situation where your watch is out of your hands for 8 months or 8 weeks even, and you're just sitting there, trying to get a full service done on it when you didn't need all of those parts and the service done on it. It's a similar thing to going to the doctor. I wouldn't recommend anyone just go to one doctor, even if you like them and trust them. It's good to get 2 different opinions and perspectives in terms of what's needed and then make the best decision for you. So knowing who to trust and also using an independent option instead of just the manufacturer option will allow you to make the best decision, whether that is going with the warranty coverage and getting it free, or if it's just getting it diagnosed and maybe you just need it waterproofed, a replacement part, instead of getting the whole thing overturned and, again, being out big for that. Number 2 is you obviously want to get your watch checked either periodically or as soon as you think something's going on. And the reason is this will help you avoid huge disaster long term, and I'll give you an example, but it'll also help you either get refunded if you just purchase the watch in the secondary market, and or help you make business decisions in terms of what you want to do, whether that's get a full refund, negotiate with the person who sold it to you and get some credits for the service that's going to be needed, and it'll also help you understand what's really going on instead of panicking and making emotional-based reactive decisions. So when you send your watch in to Bennisson and you get a free estimate on what's going on, you'll be able to tell right away, or even if you're getting an authentication report or a service check, you'll be able to tell right away, 1, if it's authentic, 2, if it needs service, 3, if it's waterproof, all these things, like in the next day or 2. And the reason that helps is if you just bought the watch, within a 4-day period, you're usually able to get some sort of resolution or refund. If it's a trusted dealer, if it's a trusted counterparty that you bought from even privately, or if you went through a platform. If you go through a platform and you buy and you're using someone like Bennisson to do the service check and authentication, again, you can protect yourself from a huge issue. I've had guys who have bought watches who did not check the watch and then 4 months later found out it was either fake or there was a chronograph issue where the chronograph was broken, they didn't engage the chronograph. Sometimes there was water leakage to the helium escape valves or crown, and then they're looking for a solution, and now the water damage in the watch has gotten so bad it's becoming a full restoration, not just a easily replaced gasket, right? And then you have much less leverage when you're going to talk to dealers or the person who sold it to you, because you've had it for so long that you're sitting there making this claim now, and the person's saying, I don't know if you did something to the watch. I don't know if it was me or if it was you. You know, even if they did have good intent and they're not a total scammer and just gonna say no matter what regardless, right? So just keep that in mind. You want to make sure you're reducing your risk and doing damage control by having a trusted partner that you can go to get an evaluation or get watches checked very quickly and very confidently, where they're not just going to go for a money grab. And number 3, this is huge, is to negotiate deals. So if you're just buying as a collector, fine, that still helps. Most of you are buying to either eventually trade into another piece, sell, or even if you're just collecting and need routine maintenance, use the service check and the information there to negotiate. So if you buy a watch, let's just say you bought an Omega Speedmaster Professional Moon watch and you got it for $5,000 and you get it checked immediately by Bennisson and you find out that the watch needs a regulation and is probably going to need a new crystal because it's scratched. Well, guess what? The good news is you have solutions, because we can easily fix that for you. But now you're able to have all this data and go back quickly to the seller and make a negotiation happen. So if it needs a new crystal, let's just say it needs a light polish on the steel bracelet in the case, and it has an issue with regulation, most people aren't going to know what the quote is for that, and they're not going to want to fix it. But now they want to sell the watch. So you could say that the regulation's $200, new crystal's $400, and a polish is going to be another $200, which are fair for what you really would need to do to get that done. And you're looking at an additional $800, right? So you can go to the person who sold it to you and say, hey, look, I'm going to want these things done to it. This is what happened when Bennisson checked it in escrow or for service. Can we work out a deal? Maybe the person says, I don't believe you, that's not the real price. And then you get the quote and you show it to them and they say, okay, maybe you're right. You can get $400 credit and you split it with the seller. Maybe you'll get the full credit. Some sellers will just give you it. Some sellers will take care of that for you on their end before they sell it back to you, so you'll have a brand new looking watch without having to go through the process. And this is huge, because now instead of buying this watch for $5,000 and having to fix it yourself, you got the service check quick enough that you actually got that credit immediately, which honestly happens a majority of the time. And now you're sitting there in the watch $4,200. So you want a great new watch, you have a beautiful piece, you get it fixed. And by the way, the quote that you get doesn't have to be exact. So maybe you get the whole thing fixed where you get a light polish and a crystal and the regulation for like $400, right? And so you're in the watch now at $4,600, and you could honestly probably just sell it for $5,000 to $5,200 when you're done. That's how you start leveraging service in a creative way to make sense of your money and to best leverage for your benefit. And if you go to someone who's trusted and knows what they're talking about, like Bennisson, it's going to be a huge win for you, because we are positioned in a way to communicate those solutions for what you're trying to do, not just because we want to do what the service is saying to do, which is do a full overhaul every year, which doesn't make sense all the time, right? So keep those in mind. Those will really help you guys out. I hope that answers your service questions, and I hope you consider this no matter who you're going to. It'll change the game for you, and it'll help you kind of make smart decisions, okay?